This NewHampshireTrackandField.com, powered by Runner's Alley, coming at you from the 2017 Wilderness League Championships here at Guilford, beautiful Guilford High School. We're catching the 4x8 on their last lap. Sorry for the delay, a couple technical issues, but we're ready to go right now. We're also here, we are fortunate to have with us the D3 legend himself from Interlakes, Cam Daly. And if you don't believe he's a legend, just walk around with him a little bit at a D3 meet or a meet in New Hampshire, and he's just got everybody coming up to him. And it's not just girls, it's everybody. Cam, welcome.
Thank you.
So Kearsarge, I believe Plymouth is 4th, Kearsarge is 5th, and Interlakes is 6th. And Kennett's coming around the turn right now to finish to pick up that all-important 10 points. I believe Kennett is defending champions of this meet. But it's a great little meet. I want to say little because it's one of the largest meets in the state, but it's a hidden gem in New Hampshire. And Cam, you are lucky enough to be a part of this for 4 years. What are some of your best memories here?
Yeah, I have some great memories. D3 used to be really strong, really close-knit. I'm sure it still is. And I used to battle it out with some guys that were seniors when I was a freshman, Kobe Clark, whose dad coaches here, and
his dad's running the meet, so we'll be done in about an hour.
Yeah, yeah, that's very fair. I have great memories. I was telling a story earlier of I used to run the 1600 here a lot, and my sophomore year before the 1600, I fell asleep, didn't get to warm up, and so started off and actually had a pretty good race.
All right, so winning that was Kennett. Second was White Mountains, and third was Belmont. We'll get you the official results. We might not be live streaming today, but we're going to treat it as such, and we're going to broadcast and introduce and celebrate these athletes that honestly are giving it their all. So, Cam, I mean, when you approach Wilderness League, obviously it was the week before the state championships. We always find it hard. Even in Division II, the meet before, you're trying to strategize a bit, get your performances a little bit better.
Yeah,
but also, it's a great competitive meet, so you want to do well as a team, and there's a lot of tradition here at Wilderness. So how did you guys approach it?
Yeah, I guess it kind of depended on the year. I think we got second or third. My team got second or third here a few years ago. And so when that was happening, I'd load up on events and kind of try not to worry about states the next weekend. But usually I was pretty cautious. I try not to do too much. But then again, it was always really nice to run fast here.
Cool. So we're on to the men's 4x8. It looks like Interlakes is top seed. Your little bro's on this one.
Yep, he's anchoring.
And then we have Kingswood, Portsmouth Christian, Moultonborough. Messina can always put something together well. Moultonborough has a kind of the McLaughlin brothers on lead off and anchor according to the sheet, but you'll help me with that.
Yep.
But they've been coming along nicely. Kennett, Belmont, Berlin, Prospect Mountain, and Laconia. They are utilizing the barrel here, so that the Prospect Mountain and Laconia, they'll be cutting in on the backstretch. What kind of time do you think Interlakes is going for today?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd like to see him take down our old school record.
What is that?
That'd be fun. I think it's 8:24. Nothing crazy, but yeah,
it's still pretty legit.
Yeah, I'd love for that to happen. They got a pretty young team. This kid here is a sophomore. I think they have 2 sophomores and 2 juniors.
Cool.
So.
So coming around, we'll see what the opening split is. Nice pack. They're out pretty even.
Are they?
58, 59, 60, 61. So 2 flat pace. Messina definitely pushing the pace here.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
They got to kind of get, when they make a decision to go after things, Messina goes after things. We do have a new camera operator. He's a steeplechaser, so he might be a little bit up and down. It's okay. Yeah, Messina is really taking it to him. Who was that in second, Cam? Did you catch who was in second?
Looks like Prospect Mountain.
Prospect Mountain, okay.
Maybe
And Kingswood?
maybe Kennett. Can't tell for sure.
I think it's Prospect Mountain.
I actually think it's Kingswood.
Kingswood?
Yeah. Or wait.
So right now we got
No.
Messinic,
Yeah, it's definitely Prospect Mountain.
Prospect Mountain. Interlakes is third. Belmont is fourth. Kingswood is fifth. We'll see on this first exchange what our first split is. We got 204, 205, 206, a 207 leg. Messinic hands off with Interlakes right there. Prospect Mountain. And then Kennett, Kingswood, Belmont, Portsmouth Christian.
Yeah, it's looking like those three now. Kennett's joining them. Those three teams, hopefully, they'll break off.
You gotta love
Race
the
each other.
4x8 though, huh?
Oh yeah.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
These guys, the relays obviously bring out a little bit more, something more special, and a lot of kids when they're racing, and even in college, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since I've been in college,
Yeah.
but the relays are always something special for a team, and there's nothing like starting off a championship meet with a 4x8.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's big too because this is an invite you have to qualify, and I don't think relays you have to. At least a 4x8. So it gives a chance for some of these kids to compete if they might have not qualified for other events.
Well, especially for those kids that are on the provisional list for divisions or might not have qualified on the provisional list. This is their sort of their state championship.
Right, right.
So this leg is coming in 63, 64, 65 through their first 400. Belmont takes the lead. This is really the toughest part of the 8. The third 200 is always the toughest part of the 8. A lot of times the athlete that runs the third 200 the best can hold on that last 200. So just like in the mile where the third lap's the toughest, the third 200 and the 800 is the toughest. What did you try to accentuate when you were running the 800 in high school?
I would actually try and go out slow and make the race slow and make everyone sit and wait. That was always what I tried to do. It didn't always work. But yeah, that was kind of my strategy.
So Belmont's really tough, but here comes Interlakes. Interlakes making a big move on the outside.
Yeah, it also looks like this is one of the McLaughlin boys from Molten Borough. I think that's Tyler.
Oh wow.
Just caught a bunch of kids, made it back up to the pack, kind of put his team back in it.
Sometimes it's smart to have one of your better legs in the second leg just in case. So this looks like this is going to be about a 207, 208, 209, 210 leg for second. Interlakes has a better exchange and takes the lead. Belmont's trying to keep it close.
He's out pretty hard.
He's out pretty hard, exactly. So right now, to set things straight, Interlakes went out real hard on that. We'll see what kind of runner is Interlakes. We got some inside information with Cam.
Yep. I'm kind of biased with this anchor leg. Kind of biased.
I think if you're going to give Ian that kind of lead, I think you guys are going to be fine.
I think that's a little dangerous.
Kennett moves into second. Prospect Mountain third, Belmont fourth, and Kingswood fifth. There's a nice battle there for second. The question is, can they get tight enough to Interlakes to give Interlakes a challenge in the anchor leg?
Yeah. Something that we like to do in high school. We put our second fastest runner third.
Okay.
Which is kind of not traditional.
Is that what you're doing, right? Is that
I assume that's what's happening.
All right.
But yeah, my old high school teammate who runs at Dartmouth and I used to do that in the 4x8 and the 4x4.
Gotcha.
So happy to see they're still doing it. But traditionally, that's your slowest leg.
Oh, you can do a lot of damage with having somebody strong.
Damage,
yeah, I mean, Interlakes is definitely opening up the lead here.
Yeah, looks like that school record I was talking about might go down.
Well, we'll see where they're at on the exchange, then we'll kind of do some math real quick in our heads. You go to Brown now. You should know how to do that, right?
Yeah, our math classes are very hard. It's a miracle that I passed.
So Interlakes. Oh, Kennett's cut into it a little bit here. So Kennett's cut into this a little bit.
Yeah, he's closing
but
on.
But I think Daly has probably the best resume here in the 800. So that was about a 210 leg. 624. So there's 624. So he's going to – your school record's in jeopardy here.
I know.
Because if he runs a 2 flat, well, 158, 159. What did you say it was, 824?
I think it's 824.
Well, 2 flat will get you right around the ballpark. So
yeah, I think he's running the Open 800 today, so he might just kind of chill.
Oh, he'd be fine. Just rip it.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of rest. Oh, the wait. This is run by Scott Clark, so he's got about 10 minutes. So in third, it looks like Kingswood is going to go move around for second. And he might be going out a little hard. We'll see. Kennett's now in third. Daly's off on a nice cadence right now. He looks really good through 400. I'll tell you what his 400 split is. He's sitting right at 59, 60, right at 60. So pretty good right there. Kingswood must be going out faster than that. Kennett looks nice and relaxed. Prospect Mountain and Belmont will be battling for fourth. Portsmouth Christian, Molten Borough, then Messinic. This is a nice 4x800. This is what people don't understand. Wilderness League is a phenomenally competitive league, and it's just a great place for track and field.
Yeah, it's really underrated.
But hopefully we'll be bringing light to that over the next few years, and
yeah.
people can see how it's just a great track and field meet. So Daly is that lead has not shrunk on the backstretch. He's just winding up right now. He's rolling pretty good. We'll let you know how close he is to the record. I'll do the count out for you, Cam. He's got to get there in 6 seconds. I think your record's safe.
I hope so.
So you still have bragging rights in the house. 826, 827. Still solid. 203 leg, give or take. Next, Kingswood second in 831. And Prospect, did he hit Kennett?
It looks like he got him at the line.
Looks like Prospect Mountain hit and then Belmont hit Portsmouth Christian,
wow.
Molten Borough, then Messinic. We'll get you official results here in a bit. Well, yeah, that was a great 4x8. Still have a couple teams finishing. And that's Berlin finishing up. So that was a pretty legit 4x8. You had about 5 teams within 10 seconds of each other. So we're moving on into the prelims of the sprints. We'll get the names in schools for you here momentarily of each heat, so everybody can get their sort of spotlight in the sun here. But again, this is NewHampshireTrackandField.com coming at you, powered by Runners Alley, coming at you from Guilford High School, the site of the 2017 Wilderness League Championships. Interlake's picking up a big 10 points there on the 4x8. How are they approaching that today, Cam? Do you know?
The meet?
The meet, yeah. Do they feel they have what it takes to really challenge for the team title?
I think so, yeah. I know Kennett's a pretty big dog in this meet usually. And then actually, I think Kearsarge. What's always interesting is that a lot of the pretty good D3 teams are all here. So it's kind of like a preview for states. You can see who's running what, see what's happening.
Yeah, sometimes it's good. We do that at Co-Brown sometimes with trying to have an athlete sort of practice their menu of events the week before, or just maybe a combination of a double, just to kind of see what it's all about. But sometimes we don't want to do that. We want them to
be surprised, yeah.
Right, so we'll see. It's an 8-lane straightaway, so we're going to have 8 per heat. I'm not exactly sure what makes it back. Obviously the winner of each heat, and I think they fill the field after that.
I think we have it somewhere.
There we do. So the winners of all, they're going to have a seated section. The winners of all the seated sections will advance. And then advancers on time will be determined by the number of seated sections. If there's no scratches, they'll have 2 unseated and 2 non-scoring sections for the boys. So the winners of all seated will advance and then have the other advancers based upon time to fill the field. We'll go over the hurdles once we get to the hurdles. And here we are with our first one. I believe this would be a seated section. So Belmont. Looks like Interlakes, then Kingswood. We should be receiving heat sheets. Definitely need some heat sheets.
Second flight girls long jump, please check in. Second flight girls long jump, please jump in.
So,
Can't hear me when I have this back there.
I can't.
Okay, so we have heat 2 coming up. I'm going to get reset in the blocks. So Cam, while we're going through these prelims, what has been the biggest challenge for you going into Brown? I mean, we had a lot of interviews with you last year, and we were talking about what your mindset was going into college and what you loved most about high school. Now you got that year under your belt.
Right.
What has been the biggest challenges? How prepared did you feel?
Yeah, I felt pretty prepared. I definitely developed a lot as an athlete over this year. My mileage went way up. I was doing like 40 miles max a week in high school, and now I've been averaging 75 miles. I'll be doing 85 this summer. And just time management was just huge. It was just way harder than anything I've ever done. The biggest thing too is like the other kids that I go to school with, I found that like if they need to just stay up all night, like finish an assignment, they can, but I just can't. And that's the biggest, like we say that. Oh, and they're off and
fair start on this one. Hold your thought there, Cam. We got Kennett Interlakes, White Mountains right in the center of the track. Stay loose, stay loose.
Oh.
Kennett will take this one. Interlakes.
Looks like he might have pulled his hamstring.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good, especially right now.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not good. He had a good exit though.
Yeah, that was quick.
Went right off. Is that the trainer right there?
I
That'd be
think so,
really
yeah.
convenient if it is. That's not good. We hate to see that, especially the week before state meet. Last night, Winnicunnet's one of their top sprinters, Brandon Hanley,
Really?
pulled up in the final. Hopefully, he pulled up quick enough and
Yeah.
he come back. And actually, with the new rules that started last year, the season isn't necessarily over if he doesn't do divisions.
Right.
That's
yeah,
one of the reasons.
Qualify, right?
That's one of the reasons the committee approved the new entry procedures for media champions was something like this. You know, if you get hurt the week before, your season's not necessarily over. It's your best FAT time from the season, and if you're good enough, we really wanted to have the best athletes at the media champions. And so it happenstance, like maybe pulling up a week before the bad timing of an injury, allowed us to do that. And the meet was phenomenal last year. So, all right, here we go. Heat number 3. They're out good. No one looks like they're going to pull anything. Plymouth,
So we got Kennett.
Moultonboro, Kennett. That was heat number 3. All right, here we go. Heat number 4. In lane 1, we have Josh Womble from White Mountains, Michael Ocanedo from Laconia, Ben Hillsgrove from Belmont in lane 3. Lane 4 is River Matthau from Belmont. You got to do better with these names, Cam, when it's your turn. Lane 5 is Frank Heckler from Laconia. Lane 6 looks like River's brother, Lucas Matthau from Belmont. And lane 7, Jonathan Austin from White Mountains.
Did the media champions rule get changed last year?
Last year, yeah. Cool. Was the first year. Fuller heats.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple years there that New Hampshire had 5 maybe in the 1600 or the 400, and all 5 obviously made New England's. We wanted to be more competitive. So that's kind of where they were coming from with that one. Another fair start. Hey, that was a great start by Belmont right in the center of the track. That's Ben Hillsgrove. He had a phenomenal start. Looks like Belmont might go 1, 2, 3 here. So that's Hillsgrove and, sorry, that was River Matheo and Ben Hillsgrove in 1, 2 in that lane 4, lane 3. And it looks like River will make it to the finals. Definitely, we'll have to wait and see about the times and who makes it back. But yeah, the whole goal of that whole thing was to have a phenomenal meet of champions and also make sure all the kids that should be there are there. So.
How's it going? You have a great freshman year? Yeah, it was great.
Okay, heat number 5. Lane 1, Sean Sullivan, Bishop Brady. Lane 2, John Shabden Lane from Bishop Brady. Lane 3, Cameron Anderson from Newfound. Lane 4, Denver Borgalt from Kingswood. Lane 5, Elijah Westerberg. And this looks like it's Borgalt from Kingswood taking the win for this prelim heat, and he should be making back to finals. Lane 6 was Rolando Sylvain Scott from Newfound, and lane 7 was Aiden Anderson from Newfound. In heat 6 of the 100, from Kingswood, lane 1 is Tyler Runnels. From lane 2, David Gertman from Franklin. Nick Travers, lane 3 from White Mountains. Tucker Goslin, lane 4 from Kingswood. Logan Miney from Kearsarge, lane 5. Gordon Hoyt, lane 6 from Plymouth. And Chris Normandin from Prospect Mountain, lane 7.
They used to have automatic qualifying, right, for Meet of Champions?
We kind of adopted the NCAA version where you take the top performances from this, and we fill the field of top performances. So that kind of made the automatic qualifying obsolete.
Yeah. Because we've had issues with, I remember in our division, it looks like somebody false started.
Okay.
In Division 3 a few years ago, we had, actually one of my teammates and Sean Munnelly, who, if you're calling me a Division 3 legend, you have to call him one too. And but he actually doubled the 400 and the 800, and he ended up winning from the slow heat of Meet of Champions that year.
Oh, I have those.
Oh, looks like they're off.
I got it. Sorry.
Kingswood again, picking up the win here. Now it's Tucker Goslin. Tucker Goslin picking up the win in lane 4. They move so fast here, it's really hard to get everything in. Lane 7, Fiston Capongo from Portsmouth Christian, lane 1. Thomas Bastis from Laconia, lane 2. Ethan Sandville from Woodsville, lane 3. Noah Lautenschlager from Kennett, lane 4. I think I nailed that name. Justin Schokel from Newfound is lane 5. Caleb Perilius from Prospect Mountain, lane 6. And John Lyons from Plymouth Regional, lane 7. Again, these are prelims. They do have seated sections. The paperwork we're getting right now does not delineate seated sections versus unseated. What we do know is the winners of each of these heats. Most of these heats will make it back to finals, and we'll obviously get you the final list when it becomes available. Cam, did you finish your thought before?
About Meet of Champions?
The Meet of Champions.
Yeah, I did.
Sean Munnelly, 1 year.
Yeah, I said he doubled the 400 and the 800, and he had to win from the slow heat of the Meet of Champions 800.
Right, well, that's the other reason. So
Yeah.
you could use your best time. So even if you run the 400 like Sean did or the 800 like Sean did,
Yep.
you could use your time, not maybe your sit and kick
Mhm.
time when you're trying to score team points. So here we are with Kennett. Kennett's Noah Lautenschlager coming through with the win, and it looks like he'll advance. Fiston Kapongo from Portsmouth Christian was second in that heat. Again, we're not exactly sure how they're doing. It looks like they have all the top guys in those 7 heats, so we'll see. Moving on to the women's prelims. We have lane 2, Shaylin Camille from Kennett. Lane 3, Hope Reuter from Kingswood. Lane 4, Morgan Gammons from Laconia. Lane 5, Emma LaPierre from Franklin. Lane 6, Laurel Gingrich from Guilford. And lane 7, Megan Stafford from Newfound. And they will be moving right along here. That'll go automatically? That'll go automatically? All right. Fair start. They came right up on that. Hard to tell who's winning at this point. Looks like Laconia. Gammon's coming through with the win on this one. Who got that, Guilford or Franklin?
I think it was Guilford.
Guilford, Gingrich.
Don't quote me on that.
Gingrich outleaning LaPierre.
Wow. I don't think it could be nicer out today for the Wilderness Meet.
That's kind of perfect.
Yeah,
I mean,
not a cloud in the sky.
It's almost perfect for everybody. It's
Yeah.
kind of one of those days where distance runners aren't bothered by the sun too much, and your jumpers and your sprinters.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so, and your throwers, especially on a warm day, they do really well. Okay. So we will have a 15-minute break after all the trials. So we'll pause the recording there. Fair start here. Looks like in lane 4, that's Kingswood Mariah Craig. But she just got outleaned by Portsmouth's Holly Olson. So we'll see what makes it back. That was heat 2 of the women's 100. Heat 3 is going to see from Franklin, Sydney Erickson, lane 1. From Laconia, Victoria Dean, lane 2. In lane 3, Alexis Stonis from Plymouth Regional. In lane 4, Coral Marchant from Plymouth Regional. Lane 5, Bryn Doobie from Berlin. Lane 6, Margaret Gotcha from Plymouth Regional. And lane 7, Lindsay Borges from Franklin. Do you think she says that when she passes people?
I'm sure like substitute teachers love that one.
Would you say
I
that
would,
when you
yeah.
pass somebody if
Of
your last
course.
name was Gotcha?
Gotcha.
I think I'd have too much immature fun with that.
Oh.
False start. Did not hear a second gun. And the unfortunate thing is that looks like lane 3, Alexis Stonis is out with a false start. That's a pretty brutal rule, I think, on the high school level. Pretty
I'm
brutal.
with you.
One false start and you're gone. But I guess that would take a long time if everybody false started, but still.
Is that a college rule too?
Yes, it is.
Really?
It's actually in every level rule.
Right. Yeah.
So I always think that I'm a distance background, so
Yeah.
I have a little more heart with this. But I would think one charge to the field. The next one that does it should be out. But then again, how fair is that to the person that doesn't do it?
Right.
So let's see. It looks like Plymouth is going to go 1-2. That's Alexis Stonis and Carol Marchant going 1-2. This is heat 4 next. And lane 1, Sarah Bellafleur from Kingswood. Heat 2, Rhiannon Hacking from Kennett. Lane 3, Mackenzie French from Winnisquam. Lane 4, Brianna Frazier from Guilford. Lane 5, Janessa Terry from Plymouth Regional. Lane 6, Phoebe Keck from Winnisquam. And Lane 7, Brianna Shepard from Newfound. Newfound has a pretty good facility too, huh?
Yeah. There's this. I think it recently got redone.
D3 has some really nice facilities.
Yeah, I got really lucky with they redid my track pretty when I got into high school. So we have very, very nice.
Well, you have the blue
facility.
track, right?
We used to. Yeah, now it's red.
Oh, okay.
We used to have a blue cement track.
Oh, when you first started, or right when you got there, they resurfaced?
When I was in elementary school, I remember like a baby blue.
Fair start on this one. Although we do have a lane open. So lane 4 is open from Kennett. And it looks like Guilford's going to take this one. Guilford was not listening. This heat cam is not phenomenal. Am I on the wrong heat? Well, that must have been, that was Brianna Frazier that won that one. Okay, lane 5 is Kelly Gilchrist. Lane 1 from Moultonborough. This is heat 5. Ashley Olson from Portsmouth Christian. Lane 2. Lane 3, Amy Combs from Newfound Regional. Lane 4 is Selena Gauthier from Kennett. She's one of the studs in this event. Lane 5, Casey Lipscomb from Kearsarge. Lane 6, McKenna Edgar from Interlakes. And lane 7, Taryn Brownell from Prospect Mountain. Look for Selena to get out really well. She's had some great starts in Division II this year. And sometimes, especially when the winner is making it back, you might not see some really fast blazing times in the trials. Obviously, when you watch the Olympics, you see the same thing. They might run 70 to 80% of the race and then kind of relax.
Especially with states next weekend.
Yeah, as predicted, Selena Gauthier is going to take this one. She's relaxed. She's definitely relaxed the last couple strides there. Just kind of going through the motions here to make it back to finals, because that's where they really want to start blazing it through. Last heat of the girls 100. We got lane 1, Gabby Clark from Prospect Mountain. Lane 2, Astra Sleeper from Woodsville. Lane 3, Kayla Budd from Kearsarge. Lane 4, Jordan Meyer from Plymouth. And Jordan Meyer has one of the top fastest times in this whole state. Lane 5, A.B. Bartlett from Laconia. Lane 6, Mary Meager from Kearsarge. And lane 7, Grishma Kadaya from Portsmouth Christian. It's going to definitely come probably down to Meyer and Gauthier from Kennett in the final. But look for Meyer. Let's see kind of where she flows. And here we are. Selena Meyer. Sorry, Jordan Meyer. She looks really relaxed.
Yeah, she does.
She just kind of went through.
Yeah. Wow.
That's kind of what you got. And well, she's saving it for the final, saving it for next week, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Another cool thing about this meet is that with them recently starting Granite State Games.
Yep.
A lot, like all these teams, I'm pretty sure in the same group. They're all the Lakes. So. Yeah. All the kids you race here, you get to be teammates with.
That's cool.
You do Granite State. I only got 1 year of it, but it seems like a cool program.
It's been 2 years. The third year coming up on.
Right.
It's a great program, especially for those kids that they don't want to be doing track and field. They might not have qualified, but they're definitely on the upswing.
Yeah.
They might not make it to a nationals, but that could be one of their goals in the next year or two, and they need to continue to compete. Mm-hmm. I mean, versus the rest of the country, the New Hampshire season's so short. Mm-hmm. You know, when I lived down in North Carolina, we started spring track in February.
Yeah.
In February.
Right.
So trying to explain that to college coaches is tough at times because we lose a whole month of training, or especially our sprinters and our jumpers.
Yeah. seconds. It's on a 5-second delay. Too much.
Okay, so we're rolling up here on the high hurdle trials. Speed of a track meet sometimes is dependent upon your hurdle crew, but they're getting along pretty well. Now you might be wondering at home why we're doing boys first in the 100 trials and the hurdle trials. It's simply because for meet management. So obviously after the men's high hurdles, they're going to lower the height of the hurdles, and they'll pull them off the track for the 100 final, and then the hurdle final they'll already have the hurdles at the women's height. So it's all meet management, and it's all the trackies know all about this, so the kids are very much prepared. It's how it's run all year long.
Yeah, especially with Scott running this meet, nothing's gonna go wrong.
I'm surprised that the whole Clark family's here being a hurdle crew.
Yeah,
Probably at some farmer's market in
I'm
Manchester
sure,
or
yeah.
something.
Showing goats or sheep.
Yeah, don't say goats. They might not talk to you again.
I know, I don't want that.
All right, here we are. Heat number 1, men's high hurdles. In lane 1, we're going to have Riley Allward from Guilford. Lane 2, Dakota Cross from Laconia. Lane 3, Isaac Sheehan from Kingswood. Lane 4, Eli Allman, probably one of the favorites from Belmont. Lane 5, Matt Libby from Newfound. Lane 6, Michael Salo from Kearsarge. And lane 7, Patrick Murphy from Kingswood. Top 2 in each section is going to advance from the 3 heats and 2 advance on time. And the girls, if it's reduced to 2 heats, we'll see how many heats. Let's see. We have 3 heats of the girls, so it's going to be the same thing. So top 2 in each section advance, and from the 3 heats, and then the next 2 advance on time. Looks like we're about ready to go. Yeah, I would definitely say Eli Allman from Belmont's a favorite in this prelim heat. If you don't know track and field, the preferred lanes for an 8-lane track, they start out from the middle and they branch outwards. So your number 1 seed would be in lane 4, number 2 seed lane 5, number 3 seed lane 3, number 4 seed lane 6, and so on and so forth. Fair start. Yeah, Allman's out to a quick lead, very quick. Someone will go down.
Fall, yeah.
Oh, he's still going though, right? Yeah,
He got up.
Got up.
I think he's done.
Yeah, Allman looks very smooth. A little hop in there. He runs with a lot of rhythm. Oh, yep. Yep, that's what we were talking about there. He's just kind of chilling. Kingswood was second. Isaac Sheehan was second. It looks like Kearsarge, Michael Salo was third. So the top 3 make it back. No, I'm sorry, top 2 make it back. So the top 2 are guaranteed. So from that heat, Allman and Sheehan from Kingswood are guaranteed to make it back. And then we'll see about the times. In this next heat, lane 1 is Sean Gurlano from Franklin. Lane 2 is Sean Breen from Plymouth. Lane 3 is Aiden Rupp from Belmont. Lane 4, Grant Croft from Kearsarge. So there's your top seed of that heat. Lane 5, Fiston Campongo from Portsmouth Christian. I think he just got done with 100. Lane 6, John Cunningham from Kearsarge. And lane 7, Christian Shepard from Franklin. So it looked as if, honestly, Eli was just making sure he doesn't dispense too much energy. He definitely had a little hop in between each one of those hurdles just for some nice rhythm. So he's probably going maybe 70%, I would say, 70, 80%.
Yeah, he did a little look over his shoulder, see where everyone else is at.
Yeah. It's a little different from hurdles to distance races on how you sort of spell your energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, Cam, you won races every which way, taking out hard, sitting and kicking.
Yep.
I'll ask you a question about that in between. So here we are. Grant Croft from Kearsarge is having a little bit of a test with Portsmouth Christian, Fiston Campongo. But
Looks like he's pulling away.
But again, the top 2 make it back. So in about 16 point, we had Kearsarge, Grant Croft in second, Campongo in first from Portsmouth Christian. They're guaranteed a spot in the final. And heat 3. Lane 1, Eric Smith from Kennett. Lane 2, Patrick Kelly from Interlakes. Lane 3, David Wallace from Kearsarge. Lane 4, Hudson Ingoldsby from Prospect Mountain. Lane 5, and he'll be your top seed. Lane 5, Ian Reminar from Belmont. Lane 6, Jacob Lipscomb from Kearsarge. And lane 7, Jacob Weber from Franklin. So it looks like Ingoldsby and Reminar are your top 2 seeds in this heat. Look for them to advance. But anything can happen. It's the hurdles. Anything can happen. So just going back to my question, when you were trying to spell yourself, you might have 3 or 4 events. What do you think was the easiest strategy? To go out hard and relax the second half, or to kind of sit and just kick that last 150 to 200?
Yeah, I used to go out really slow. I had the luxury of being able to kind of control some of the races that I were in just fully. So here a few times, and especially at Division 3's our state meet, I was running 4 hard events. So
You really had to spell yourself.
yeah, I would just. It looks like Hudson's out really well.
Yep, Hudson's out well. Reminar's right behind him.
Yeah.
And they're going to easily advance. And again, both are just cruising. That was about 16 to 17 seconds and change unofficially, obviously. But they don't look spent at all. They look like they're ready for the finals. Got themselves in.
Yeah. As I was saying, I used to go out really slow and then try to just not run that fast in the last half of the race. Had some issues with that. One of my competitors, Dom or Pucci,
You guys had phenomenal battles.
Yeah.
But you're pretty good friends.
Yeah, he's probably my best friend, and we would just go out really slow, and nobody would want to take it. And
Did you guys discuss that beforehand ever, or was it just like, hey?
No, we never talked. We never talked about it. It's just, we would talk about like what we think we're gonna do in the race, but if it was like a state championship, he knew it was gonna be tactical. Yeah, I'm also very good friends with Liam Kimball, who I used to race last year too. So I feel really lucky that the New Hampshire distance community is so tight knit.
I always, not to sound relentless, but I always liked beating my friends more than
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the guys I didn't like. So you have bragging rights. You talk to them, you could joke around with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have those moments, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And we skied. So we did 3 sports against each other.
Yeah.
All through high school,
Yeah.
and we still run against each other. So.
Well, yeah. HEPS
Yep.
is one of the most fiercest contested conferences in the country. It kind of gets a tough rap just because, it's not necessarily scholarship athletes, but there's a lot of athletes, obviously, like yourself, that could have taken a scholarship elsewhere but chose to the Ivy League. And it's a great deal of pride. And I think it's college track and field at its best because it's for the pure love of the sport. And it's some of the most hotly contested conferences in the country, and it's great track and field. And then you see the same competitors at the NCAA's, and they're mixing it up with the major schools. So I think you guys made some good decisions there.
Yeah, that's one of the most fun meets that I've ever been to. It's so intense, and it's crazy.
The unique thing about the Wilderness League meet too is, this is apart from every other meet, every school takes part with running an event. Meaning if Interlakes is in charge of discus, the discus does not run unless Interlakes brings the necessary equipment. Short of a cage.
Yeah.
But with the measuring tapes, the volunteers, they have to all take ownership, and that really makes every school invested in this meet, all the way down to volunteers for timing. There's schools that are in charge of timing or volunteers for timing. Hurdle Crew looks like it's a community. Everybody kind of jumps in and helps, which is like at every track meet in New Hampshire. But it's really unique.
Yeah, there's a great deal of coaches too helping out, which has got to be kind of tough.
I can speak from that the coaching fraternity, so to speak, in New Hampshire is phenomenal. We got lane 1, heat 1 of the girls hurdles. Tabitha Lopes is lane 1, Plymouth. Sydney Erickson, lane 2, Franklin. Saina Saeed from Belmont, lane 3. Hannah Shatigny from Kingswood, lane 4. Olivia Maria from Guilford, lane 5. And Reese Clark from Guilford, lane 6. Looks like Belmont's Saeed is out fast and has the lead at this point. Remember, top 2 make it back. Kingswood, Shatigny, I'm probably butchering that name. But it looks like those 2 are going to qualify automatically. And we'll see about the times. Hurdle Crew's resetting the hurdles. In Heat 2, we got in Lane 1, Emily Bean from Kennett. Lane 2, Georgia Stafford from Kennett. Lane 3, Tama Ronish from White Mountains. Lane 4, Taylor Lovely from Laconia. Lane 5, Lindsay Borges from Franklin. And Lane 6, Anna Kopp from White Mountains. And again, probably Taylor Lovely has the fastest seat time coming in. Settling into a rhythm here, and then we'll have a quick break after these hurdles, and we'll come back for the finals in about 10-15 minutes. Although you won't know that because we'll be uploading this, and there'll be no delay for you, but we'll probably grab some quick bite to eat because I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too. As always, but...
Guns up. Fair start. Looks like White Mountains' Taman Ronish is in the lead at the first hurdle. That's out of lane 3. Laconia's Taylor Lovely and Georgia Stafford from Kennett battling for that precious automatic, and it's going to be Lovely running a lovely race in lane 3. Okay, that was cheesy, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s. That's what that was all about. Ask your dad, he knows all about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So as you guys might know, Cam's dad is the coach at Concord.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why he's not here today watching his son is he's running a meet of his own, the Crimson Tide Capital Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And he's put together quite a program down there at Concord. They had a couple lean years there, but the last couple of years, especially on the boys' side, he's really put something together.
They have something like 120 kids, something like that.
Yeah, it's a very popular program in that school. That's always helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some really talented athletes right now.
Heat 3, Megan Fife from Winnisquam, lane 1. Lane 2, Cerise Wheatley from Kearsarge, lane 3. Amanda Karowski from the Interlakes, lane 4. Eileen McKenna from Kingswood, lane 5. Ilajana Markalek from Winnisquam, and Emma LaPierre, lane 6 from Franklin. Looks like Kingswood's McKenna and Interlakes Karowski are 1 and 2 right now. Karowski looks like she's overtaking the lead here. It's going to be tight, but the most important thing that they both make it back. Looks like Karowski got that one, but the most important thing, it doesn't quite matter. It's the top 2 make it back. So we're looking at a little break here. We're gonna take a break in our action here and take care of some particulars, and we'll see you for the finals of the 100.